Hello, I'm Michael Caine, and I'd like you to join us each week for Focus on Britain on this station. You may think you know all about Britain, but I think we'll have a few surprises for you. You'll meet all kinds of people and places, maybe some friends of mine, and you'll be in very good hands. So each week, pull up a seat, make yourself comfortable, and watch Focus on Britain.
Michael Caine and friends host Focus on Britain. Coming soon, here on Lifestyle.
Hello there.
Focus on. Focus. Focus.
Focus.
Focus. Focus. Focus.
Focus.
Focus.
Focus.
Focus. Focus.
Focus.
Focus on. Focus. 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 Focus on.
Focus on.
Focus. Focus.
Focus on.
Focus.
Focus. Focus.
Focus.
Focus.
Focus.
Is that Rita from Coronation Street? Not Rita. Vera.
Focus.
Focus on Britain.
This is a Focus on Britain presentation.
What the fuck was that? Tommy whispered as the car started to slow. Is it a flat tyre? A voice came from the shadows of the back seat. It was Paulie Tooth. Tommy said out loud, "No way." With that, Richie the soldier said, "Pull over," and so they did. After getting out of the car and going around to the trunk, see what I did there? It's based on Goodfellas, and I used trunk instead of, fuck it, back to the story. They opened the boot and Tommy couldn't believe his eyes. They peered in, seeing what they knew was already inside. Paulie the Tooth grinned a gleaming smile. Tommy was confused. It was supposed to be tied up. Then all of a sudden, they burst out laughing at all the lovely cash that the UTK March had made. Paulie the Tooth whispered, "Let's fuck off to Spain, lads." That was always his way. Everyone knew it. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a grifter.
I know I would go from rags to riches.
Later on, Tommy stood at his bedroom window, looking down at the street below. He always watched the wise guys singing doo-wop songs together and sometimes chanting, "Keir Starmer's a wanker." Anyway, right then the door of Luton Town's fan club flung open, and there he stood, the boss man, Don Jeffy Taylor. His character was always serious. Jeffy didn't move for anyone. The fellas out front stood there in their Stone Island coats, looking dumb and pointing at one another, blaming each other for the doo-wopping. Tommy had to leave quick as Luton were playing and he'd grifted a free ticket down the pub. He knew this was his moment. He chanted at the top of his voice, "Oh, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson." Everyone looked at him like he was stupid. The next morning, he was in the kitchen pretending to get ready for school. He hadn't been in ages. Then the door opened, and there stood a stern-looking man. It was his daddy. And his daddy was carrying a thick leather belt. Oh my gosh, thought Tommy. Leading his son into the living room, he grabbed Tommy with full force and started to tickle him, especially around the throat, according to the artist. "That's my boy!" exclaimed his pappy. Tommy was a bit of a loner at that age and decided to try and make some new friends in the toughest pub in Luton. As he walked in, the bar went silent. He leant against the bar and said, "I'm Tommy. Did you see me at the match, anyone? I'm going to grift when I'm older," and with that the whole bar laughed. He felt right at home. "This is great," Tommy exclaimed. "You're my new best friends." One of the guys told Tommy it all depended on Don Jeffy. The bar was becoming packed out now. Like that,
Hello
Don
there.
Jeffy appeared out of nowhere. He was always like that. See, he was a very small person, almost midget-like. "Put him out to grift," he stated. "Let's see what he can do." Tommy was a really bad crook and got caught before he'd even done a crime. As he stood in court, the judge shouted in a stern way, "You have been judged by your peers, a completely 100% British jury, and you are guilty." He was fined £67. Outside, he was met by the crew.
Hello there.
Don Jeffy said, "Come here, Tommy. Here's a little IOU note as a present. You got pinched and did great." For some reason, the artist had forgotten that Don Jeffy was only 4 foot tall. Anyway, later that day, Tommy felt depressed, like he had let the Don down in some way and had to earn his crust. It was then he came up with a cunning plan. As he stood outside a place of worship in North London, he came up with possibly the biggest grift of all time. It's known as the Lufthansa heist. Not the one in the US. This one was a shop near Barking. He joined the rest of the crew at the club later that night. Everyone was there. Jimmy No Teeth, Big Jake the Ladyboy, and Stanley Bumhole. Strange name to give yourself, I know, but hey-ho. As he sat down, Don Jeffy was in the middle of a story that everyone pretended to find amusing. "So I told the police," he muttered. "Hello there! Ha 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 ha!" Tommy joined in, laughing away with his usual fake laugh that bellows with pretense and annoyance. God, it's horrible. Seriously, it does my head right in. Right, let's continue. Tommy sat overly laughing at the joke, and everyone had noticed. "What the fuck is up with him?" one person said. "Is he all right?" another whispered. "You're a funny guy, Jeffy," Tommy erupted again. With that, the mood changed really quickly. "What's so funny about me?" Don Jeffy remarked in a seriously serious way. You could almost hear a gnat fart in the bar. "You're a funny guy," Tommy exclaimed, and with that, Don Jeffy punched Tommy in the throat. "You think I'm tiny, don't you?" he raged. A few months later, the grift was enacted. Donations, screens, police protection at his rally. He made a fortune for him and his whole outfit. Right, this is actually a DVD purchased from a car boot sale, and it's 2 discs. This is the first, and so this story is to be continued because some fucking idiot put the Goonies in its place. Now you've heard this completely believable tale. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Remember, children, if you're naughty or a dirty little fibber that makes money from people while giving nothing but cheap, tacky crap back in return, then Focus on Britain might just make a video about it. Tatty bye, you bastards, and I'll see you in the next one.
That lad is a proper twat, sucking out the marrow of a dying cause, working every single angle just to avoid those heavy local laws. He's working the high streets, he's working the corner watching for the heat. Tommy makes them in, not that funny is it? Lined his heavy pockets with a quiet visit. He's grifting off the old folk, he's grifting on the pavement. Everyone he meets pays the grifter's engagement. Tommy makes a mint. That little Yaxley Lennon fellow, he has surely turned a sickly shady yellow. Packaged up his propaganda and fled the station with his grand agenda. He's working the coastline, he's working the harbour way past the limit line. Tommy makes them in, not that funny is it? Lined his heavy pockets with a quiet visit. He's grifting off the old folk, he's grifting on the pavement. Everyone he meets pays the grifter's engagement. Tommy makes a mint. He grifts for the nation, he grifts for the station, he grifts for the creation, never goes on boards, clinging to the floor, standing to attention in his own dimension. Tommy makes them in, not that funny is it? Lined his heavy pockets with a quiet visit. He's grifting off the old folk, he's grifting on the pavement. Everyone he meets pays the grifter's engagement. Tommy makes a mint. Tommy makes him in, not that funny is it? Lined his heavy pockets with a quiet visit. He's grifting off the old folk, he's grifting on the pavement. Everyone he meets pays the grifter's engagement. Tommy makes a mint.
Never, ever could I have expected the scenes we are seeing today in London.